Hi everyone, today I would be giving you an Oreo and recap on SMART requirements and goals. So be it a business or a scenario where you're managing a project, you would come across requirements and goals. So the best ways to capture requirements or to set up goals is using the SMART methodology. So what is SMART? Let us take a scenario in order to understand this. So assume that I am a business analyst where I'm collecting a requirement from the client, and the requirement is that I need to develop a dashboard that portrays and displays my sales statistics, which is, it can be my sales per day, it can be the performance of my sales reps, it can be the highest selling products, it can be the timeline and the trend of my sales. So all this can be visually seen in a dashboard, which comes in as a requirement for me. So keeping this requirement, always I need to keep in mind what type of a requirement this is and how well it's going to work for me. So at that point of time, I would use the SMART methodology. So when I take SMART, the first thing I need to check with my requirement if it's going to be specific. Instead of me getting a requirement for the client saying that I need a sales dashboard, this is of course a requirement, but to be more specific and detailed, I would collect requirements asking the client as what type of KPIs, what type of information you would like to visualize on a daily basis, what type of analysis you would want to do. And through this, I would be able to understand and define in detail, saying that I need KPIs for my sales per day, I need KPIs on the sales per sales rep, I need my trend of the sales. So all these would help me to be able to give specific requirements to my development team. So getting a requirement saying that I need a sales dashboard, as well as getting a requirement saying that I need a sales dashboard with A, B and C KPIs to visualize, makes a difference. So that's how you need to check if your requirements are specific and detailed. Always make sure that they are specific enough. The next one is to make sure is that your requirement is measurable. Get a requirement and always see, analyze and understand what type of resources are needed, what's the time that is required, what is the type of profit or returns I would receive through this requirement, what is the value that I provide by this requirement. So by keeping this in mind, you would be able to understand how much of resources you need to spend on, how much of cost, time and effort that you need to put in order to achieve this requirement. So always make sure that your requirements are measurable, so you'll be able to well enough define the requirement and estimate the requirement's timeline. The next one is to make sure that your requirement is attainable and achievable. So always when you get a requirement, make sure that it is well aligned with your business vision and mission, as well as your business constraints, so that your requirement may not be something that is out of the box and something that cannot be achieved by your team as well as by the business. So always make sure that it is achievable. The next one is realistic or relevant. Make sure that the requirement coming in is always relevant with your project scope. If it is something that's not relevant with your project scope and not aligned with your business strategies, then definitely there's going to be a change in your product or project scope. So always make sure that it is realistic and relevant to your business as well as to your project or product. The last one is making sure that the requirement is time bound. So always set up a timeline so that you would be able to achieve the requirement within the time. So it's always best to give commitments to your client within a deadline than to exceed it. So it's best to make sure that your requirement can be achieved within your project deadline. So these are the different ways in which you can specify your requirements, and that's how it makes your requirement and your goals smart enough. So thank you for watching this video and do share your feedbacks. Thank you.